You have just finished the biggest problem you could face in your entire life, which is intestinal permeability, causing 90% of the disease problems that all humanity on planet Earth faces. This video is worth $1 million, and this is not an exaggeration. Indeed, this video deserves more than £1 million because it will solve a very big problem you suffer from in your life, which is the gateway to all autoimmune diseases without exception. Pay close attention to what I'm going to say today. We will talk about something called intestinal permeability, or increased intestinal permeability. Let's first understand how our stomach works. Here is the liver, and next to it is the stomach. This is all your colon, here is the rectum, here are the large intestines, and inside them are the small intestines. Okay, we have something called stomach acid. Stomach acid is like boiling firewater, and has two direct functions. The primary function of stomach acid is to break down the food we eat to help absorb the minerals and vitamins from it. For example, if I eat fish now, the fish will not go down into my body as it is, so the stomach acid comes out to break down this fish and take the vitamins and minerals, enzymes, and things we need. The second function of stomach acid is like a defense line against bacteria, parasites, and worms in the digestive system. So, do I actually have bacteria, parasites, and worms in the digestive system? Yes, you do. They are located here in the rectum and the end of the colon. So, what is their function? They feed on the remains and waste of our food to help me in the excretion process, so they play an important role. Now, with undisciplined eating behavior, high consumption of acid blockers, PPI drugs, extensive use of antibiotics, and stress for too long, a big problem happens. The stomach acid begins to become very, very weak. When this acid starts to weaken, two things happen. The first is that its basic function of absorbing minerals and vitamins from your food begins to weaken. So, all the vitamins and minerals in your body have a major drop, leading to deficiencies in vitamin D3, zinc, vitamin C, iron stores, and so on. And you continue. The second big problem is that the bacteria that were sitting in the rectum and the end of the colon, which used to be afraid to move out of their range because the stomach acid would kill them, now begin to take advantage of the opportunity that the acid is no longer present or has become weak. They start moving out of their range. They say, why should I sit and eat waste when I can go up into the intestines themselves and eat the fresh food that has just come down as it is? So they move from the large intestines and the rectum into the small intestines to eat the food you are eating as it is, so your benefit from the food is zero. Then you begin to notice some problems like constant contractions in the digestive system or stomach pains. As long as you don't eat, you feel fine, but as soon as you eat, your stomach begins to bloat. And there is cramping, constipation, and possibly accompanied by diarrhea or continuous constipation, lethargy, laziness, bloating, gases, and you might, God forbid, find in the toilet your feces with undigested food. Always tense, severe anxiety, severe depression, difficulty sleeping. You are laughing now, then you frown and cry after 2 minutes, and so on. This is evidence of something called SIBO, where the growth of harmful bacteria causes a disturbance in your digestive system's microbiome. Therefore, the bacteria multiply in number and size and begin to use your small intestines. Is the problem here intestinal permeability yet? After a while, something called increased permeability of the intestinal wall itself occurs. What does this big term mean? We have a protein called zonulin, whose function is like a guard at the gates of the stomach wall to allow the passage of the vitamins and minerals you eat to go into the blood, meaning the beneficial substances, so that nothing from your intestines, no food, or any parasites or anything goes with the blood to harm you. Now, what happens when the inflammations in your body begin to increase significantly? Is that this protein is secreted in much larger amounts, so your intestines begin to allow everything to exit. Where does this inflammation come from? It comes from two things. The first is that harmful bacteria have begun to colonize your body, and thus started to cause severe inflammations inside your body in addition to the type of food you keep eating that your body cannot digest, because the acid has been killed by wrong dietary behavior, or excessive intake of acid blockers or antibiotics. So, the bacteria now say, why should I stay in the digestive system and stomach? Why don't I go out to see what the world has outside? There is a lot of good out there. We have a respiratory system, a heart, joints, and bones. Let me go out and see the world. So it begins to exit the intestines and the stomach, and goes with the blood to reach any place it wants. At this point, your immune system begins to react and chases these bacteria. If it goes towards the kidneys, you get lupus. If it goes towards the joints, you may get rheumatoid arthritis. If it heads towards the thyroid gland, you may find nodules around the gland. If it goes to the prostate, it may cause prostate enlargement or appendicitis congestion, and you might need to remove it, and so on. And you continue to develop all autoimmune diseases without exception. This is intestinal permeability or intestinal leakage, where harmful bacteria have started to exit the stomach wall and have begun to eat your entire body while your immune system, which was defending you, has started to attack them. The causes, as we mentioned, are two. The first is an imbalance in the digestive system's microbiome, where the harmful bacteria in you have begun to increase significantly, while the beneficial bacteria have significantly decreased. And this is due to the weakness of your stomach acid, caused by wrong dietary behaviors from excessive drug intake and your wrong dietary pattern. White gluten and all its derivatives are among the biggest causes of inflammation, in addition to continuous complaints of constipation, where some say they have been suffering from constipation for 10 years. Constipation from chairs. What does that mean? Are you going to inherit constipation from your parents? This makes no sense. Moreover, there is the undisciplined behavior resulting from lack of movement and staying up late. This is the detailed description of intestinal permeability. Now, let's discuss the treatment very simply. First, when your stomach acid becomes weak, you experience deficiencies and imbalances in many essential vitamins and minerals in your body. This deficiency leads to an increase in inflammation in your body. You need to take 3 types of vitamins: vitamin D, vitamin C, and after 2 or 3 weeks, take zinc with copper. These are the 3 vitamins you should rely on. Secondly, there are some foods that have become heavy to digest, and you already suffer from weak stomach acid, so you should avoid them. First, avoid all white flour and its derivatives, not just reduce but completely avoid them. Second, avoid all dairy products. Third, legumes are now prohibited. Let me tell you what is allowed. Do not rush. Leafy vegetables are currently difficult to digest because the stomach acid is not available, so if you eat a lot of them, they may cause bloating and gases. Hydrogenated oils and any food from outside the home should be avoided because they cause severe inflammation. The foods that are allowed should be limited because you are in a treatment phase. Animal fats like the fats from meats and healthy oils such as olive oil, local ghee, and country butter are good sources. Dates as an energy source. Rice is fine because it enables you to move and work. Yellow cheeses such as cheddar, mozzarella, and cottage cheese are permissible. Moderation in sugar consumption is important because overindulgence feeds the harmful bacteria in your body, causing more imbalances in your digestive system's microbiome. If you choose another energy source, baked potatoes are a good option. An animal protein such as fish or lamb can be the basis of your diet. You should stay away from the prohibited foods as much as possible and take dietary supplements. During the first weeks of treatment, you may suffer from severe headaches, but after 3 weeks, you will notice a reduction in headaches, lethargy, laziness, and hunger. After 6 weeks, if you have constipation, it will begin to improve, and you will also notice improvements in bloating. Skin. Any itching or paleness of the skin, or dark circles under the eyes will improve within 90 days. By the grace of God, 80% of the health problems you face will begin to improve, but you must do a few other things. First, ensure you fast for the longest possible hours during the day so your body can start secreting stomach acid again. Second, clean your food very well, because your stomach is now weak and there is not enough acid to digest the food, so the food needs to be easy to digest and quick to prepare without consuming much energy or time. I hope I have succeeded in explaining the subject, and I wish you always good health and well-being. Subscribe for more health tips.